We're going to walk you through the installation of the J&L oil separator for your 2024 and up Mustang EcoBoost. Included in the J&L kit is a fully assembled oil separator with quick connect fittings, a mounting bracket, and mounting hardware. The tools you're going to need for installation is a 10mm socket, short extension, a ratchet, and a Phillips head screwdriver. Let's get started. Our first step, we're going to need to locate our factory PCV line, which if you have a strut tower brace, it is directly underneath of it. You'll see the line going here to the valve cover, and then right here to the intake manifold. So you can access this line without removing the strut tower brace. You're going to go from the back of the vehicle, and there's a tab, which I will show you once I get this line off. You push the tab away from the connection, which is here. So you push that tab away and pull the connection off, and then it's the same at the valve cover. So again, pull that line, and if you look down in there, you can see the oil in that line already. It's a low mileage car. The customer got it just a couple weeks ago. Next, we're going to remove this 10mm bolt from the front of the coolant expansion tank. Get your ratchet and your 10mm socket and pull that bolt out. We're going to go and prep our oil separator for installation. We're going to install the mounting bracket onto the oil separator. You'll notice that there's two logos. Align the logos so they face the same direction, and then use the supplied screws to fasten the bracket. Back at the vehicle, you're going to feed this longer line with this 45-degree connection, which you notice that the connection is pointed out. These connections do rotate, so if you need to adjust these, they will spin completely around. They may be tough to break free depending on how long the kit's been in the box, but we assemble these with grease, so it will break free and then spin all the way around. You're gonna feed this under this charge pipe here, and then underneath the wiring harness, up by the oil dipstick tube, and then your shorter line you're going to feed underneath this coolant line on the reservoir. We're just going to work on getting the can into place for now to line up the bracket with this hole, and then use the J&L supplied bolt, which is longer than the factory bolt, and get your bolt started. Now we're not going to tighten this bolt all the way down yet, but I am going to snug it up. Just so I still have some adjustment on my oil separator. All right, now we're going to make our connections. These connections just push to connect. So there's one at this valve cover. You see my fitting is pointed the right direction. Just gonna push that on. You'll hear it snap. Check your routing. I like to put it behind this boss on this valve cover, and that's gonna keep it off this coil pack plug. Okay, I'm gonna check it all the way back to the oil separator. And then the line that's gonna connect to our intake manifold has this 90-degree fitting. Snap that into place. To remove these fittings, you'll notice there's a green large button and it says push on it. So you're going to push that button, and then sometimes you have to push the fitting forward and then pull it off, but they unsnap very easy. Now that's all left to do is to tighten up our 10mm bolt. And what I want to do is just get the can in a in its kind of natural location on where it wants to lay out. You're also going to notice that the edge of the can is close to this reservoir. Depending on how you adjust it, you can kind of get it spaced away from that. So when you take off the reservoir, it'll come right off. You do have some give in the plastic where you can still get the reservoir by it pretty effortlessly, which I'll show you here once I get this tightened up. So now to service it, just tilt back on the bracket a little bit, it'll come right off. And same thing to start it. So when retightening this, you want it to get it to have the O-ring stop it like that, and then you're going to give it about a half a turn. And that is plenty. If you do it more than that, it's going to be very difficult to remove when you go to service it in a few thousand miles. So that completes your installation. Just double check all your hoses, make sure you're not rubbing on any wiring harnesses that are not exposed. Not a big deal if you're on top of this harness that has this nice protective sheathing. Check your hose in the back, and that completes you. We suggest that you check this oil separator after 1,000 miles of driving. I would set a reminder in your phone or a sticker on the windshield just to remind you. Average collection on most of the Ford EcoBoost applications is about 1 ounce of oil every 1,000 miles. So check it at 1,000 and it'll give you a good idea how often you need to check yours. We appreciate you watching. We'll see you on the next one.